A few years ago, one of my roommates walked into my room, picked up a book off my desk, and looked at me like I had completely lost it. The book was called CEO Excellence. She looked at me and goes, I don't fully understand what you do at work, but I do know one thing. You're not the CEO. And you're definitely not about to become one anytime soon. So why are you reading this? And honestly, it was a fair question. Because she was right. I wasn't the CEO of the company I work at, and I'm still not the CEO of the company I work at. Not even close. And if everything went really well, maybe, that was like 10 plus years down the road. It was possibly even just a pipe dream. But I asked her to read the subtitle of the novel, The 6 Mindsets That Distinguish the Best Leaders from the Rest. And then I asked her something back. If there are 6 mindsets that define great leaders, wouldn't you want to start practicing them before you get the CEO title? She paused and she nodded. Because here's the thing, we don't talk about it enough. We love the idea of being great at something, anything, but we rarely prepare for it early enough. You see, I've always loved reading. I grew up going to the library constantly. Started with fiction, like most kids do, and then I slowly moved into biographies, and then into things like social psychology and economics and leadership, thanks in part to authors like Malcolm Gladwell in the books Outliers, The Tipping Point, and Blink. From there, let's just say it expanded a bit. Business, sports history, politics, Stoic philosophy, power, web development, anybody? The history of salt, birds, MBAs, you name it. I've probably got a book on it somewhere. Not because I needed all of it right now, but because I might need it someday. Although, I'm still trying to figure out how the history of salt plays into it, but it was a good book. But the point is, I might need it someday. And that's the mindset that I want to challenge you with today. Because what struck me wasn't just my roommate's question, it was that it felt unusual to her. The idea of preparing for something 8 to 10 years in advance, it felt extreme. But think about it. We're talking about maybe 4 to 6 hours of reading. That's it. Over a few weeks, maybe a month, one book, one idea, one skill. In exchange, you get a 10-year head start on a possibility. You get to slowly practice, refine, fail privately, improve quietly, so that one day when the opportunity shows up, you're not scrambling to become the person you need to be. You already are. Because here's the truth. Nobody, and I mean nobody, just accidentally becomes a great leader. People don't stumble into being exceptional. There's a long, steady climb, years of decisions, years of habits, years of thinking differently. And yet most of us wait until we're in the role to start preparing for it. We wait until we're overwhelmed to start learning. We wait until it's urgent to make it important. But what if we flip that on its head? What if you asked, what is something 10 years from now that might be part of my life? Not guaranteed, not certain, just possible. And then asked, am I willing to spend a few hours preparing for that possible version of me? Because maybe you'll never become a CEO, but maybe you'll lead a team. Maybe you'll run something. Maybe you'll need to make hard decisions and guide people, handle pressure, and think long term. And if you had the chance to build those instincts now, slowly and intentionally, why wouldn't you take it? So here's my challenge to you today. When's the last time you seriously thought about your life 10 years from now? And if you could make that future just a little bit easier, a little clearer, and a little more natural, would you be willing to invest a few hours sometime in the next week, month, or year? Would you be willing to read a book on it? Would you maybe be willing to practice one of the mindsets that book presents as an option? Would you prepare for something that might never happen? Because it sounds a little crazy. Reading a CEO book when you're not even close to becoming the CEO? Yeah, I get it. I'm not lost on me that this is a crazy, far-fetched dream that I might become a CEO one day of a company. But what if it was a possibility? What if reading a book now put me in a much better position for it later? Thinking of it a decade ahead, when today already feels busy enough, it's tough. But then again, maybe that's exactly why it works. Maybe the people who seem naturally ready, they're not lucky. Maybe they just started way, way earlier.